Good evening. Thanks for joining us. You're watching News at 10. I'm Jessica Lee. The government will announce a lower price for the COVID-19 antigen rapid self-test kit by the end of the year. Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Minister Datuk Sri Alexander Nantalinggi said this is to help alleviate the financial burden of the people following the reopening of economic sectors and the new school term.
Kita akan turunkan lagi harga test kit ini. Ya. Saya tak boleh nak sebut berapa lah. Tapi kita akan turunkan lagi supaya dia lebih mampu dimiliki orang ramai. Sebab ini dah jadi keperluan.
Previously, the KPDNHEP has announced the retail price ceiling for the self-test kit at RM19.90, while the wholesale price set is at RM16.90 starting today. The KPDNHEP will also give traders a week from today to comply with the maximum price, and Datuk Sri Alexander said the enforcement team would be monitoring but would not issue compounds and would instead give traders reminders to adhere with the maximum selling price. The failure of retailers and wholesalers to adhere to the maximum price would face action under the Price Control and Anti-Profiteering Act 2011. Meanwhile, on the antigen rapid test or RT-KAG and the reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction or RT-PCR tests carried out in clinics, Datuk Sri Alexander said KPDNHEP is awaiting the advice of the Health Minister as well as holding discussions with industry representatives for implementation. Individuals who have completed 2 doses of COVID-19 vaccine abroad need to go to the nearest district health office for a verification and validation to obtain a digital vaccination certificate on My Sejahtera application. Now, Science, Technology and Innovation Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Adham Baba said they would need to bring documents or certificates as proof that they had obtained the vaccine abroad. Explaining further, Datuk Sri Dr. Adham said the move was to enable the Crisis Preparedness and Response Centre or CPRC to confirm the authenticity of international vaccination certificates and the inoculation taken by the recipients.
PKD akan menerima sertifikat tersebut yang dikeluarkan oleh negara untuk di-verify. Selepas verify, prosesnya Jabatan Kesihatan Negeri akan hantar ke CPRC, iaitu Crisis Preparedness and Response Centre di Putrajaya, dan CPRC pusat akan memaklumkan pada Mas Sejahtera untuk dapatkan Mas Sejahtera mengeluarkan sertifikat dalam aplikasi telefon kita, ya.
He added for the individuals who have been vaccinated and were required to enter Malaysia to revitalize the country's economy, their vaccination certificate would be checked and validated by health officials at the country's entry points. The minister stressed that regardless of nationality, it is important for the government to confirm whether the vaccination certificate issued abroad was genuine and to find out the type of vaccine received. The Prime Minister's Department of Religious Affairs will discuss with the Education Ministry and Health Ministry if unvaccinated Quran and Fardu Ain class or Kafa teachers should be allowed to interact with students face-to-face when schools reopen. Its Minister Idris Ahmad said all teachers, including Kafa teachers, are advised to get the COVID-19 vaccination to ensure that the school ecosystem would be safe for the students.
Dia sepatutnya guru ni dia orang paling dekat dengan anak murid. Dan kalaulah guru kapal pun saya nasihatkan supaya mereka juga ambil vaksin. Apa yang kita takut sangat soal vaksin ni? Sekarang ni ramai orang mati kena COVID banyak daripada mati kena vaksin. Setakat hari ni pada saya sepatutnya maknanya cikgu tu kena vaksin lah.
He was speaking at a media conference after handing over flood support aid at the Matang Gelugor Hall in Perak. Previously, Senior Education Minister Datuk Dr. Razzie Jidin was reported to have said that 2,500 teachers who refused to accept COVID-19 vaccination would be given other duties when school sessions reopen on the 3rd of October, as they would not be allowed to teach face-to-face in class. Now, this is to ensure that the school lessons would remain safe for the students. Now, Terengganu is ready to vaccinate about 95,000 students aged 13 to 17 under the National COVID-19 Immunisation Programme soon. State Health Director Dr. Kasimani Embong said the initiative would be implemented after receiving the guidelines on how to properly provide the jabs to the young age group.
Ikutkan kementerian memang dia akan mulakan di Sarawak. So kita di negeri Terengganu kita telah bersedia. Kita sekarang menunggu garis panduan pelaksanaan di negeri kita. Apabila kita dapat garis panduan pelaksanaan, insya-Allah kita akan mulakan. Sebab dari segi kapasiti kita mampu. Kita ada kemampuan dan dari segi vaksin pun kita ada vaksin.
Dr. Kasimani said this is in line with the reopening of school sessions on the 3rd of October. Yesterday, Health Minister Khairi Jamaluddin announced that the government will enhance efforts to vaccinate adolescents, thus achieving one of the key performance indicators within his first 100 days in office. The vaccination for teenagers is expected to begin in Sarawak, as the state has achieved the 80% vaccination rate of its adult population. The government, especially the enforcement agencies under the Home Ministry, should not be made fully responsible for ensuring compliance with the standard operating procedures or SOPs, especially with the increasing relaxations given to the people. The Home Minister, Datuk Sri Hamzah Zainuddin, said all parties should together play a role by making compliance with the SOPs a normal practice, especially with the impending announcement of COVID-19 in the country as endemic. Datuk Sri Hamzah explained that strict monitoring would continue to be conducted, with employers having the same responsibilities of ensuring their workers comply with the SOPs.
Kalaulah kilang dibenarkan mereka beroperasi, siapa yang sepatutnya menjaga SOP? Pihak pengurusan. Tapi hari ini, mengapa pula kita salahkan kerajaan? Kerana apa? Kerana tak menjaga SOP. Sepatutnya majikan yang mula-mula jaga. Kalau majikan mula-mula jaga dan ada sesuatu yang kita agak kurang senang, laporkan kepada kita.
Meanwhile, the minister also said that so far there had been no issue of officers and staff of the Home Ministry and its agencies refusing to receive the vaccine, as most of them were frontliners involved in the fight against COVID-19. He said the government has ensured that frontliners, over 91% of the police force, have received the vaccine, while almost 100% of the Malaysia Prisons Department have been vaccinated so far. On a separate matter, Home Ministry or KDN will be providing a free mobile service for applications of Malaysian identity cards, birth certificates and passports to Yan district residents in Kedah who were affected by the mud floods. Now, Datuk Sri Hamzah said the service was part of the programs under KDN Prihatin, which aims to provide assistance to the affected people. He said the initiative would be implemented by the National Registration Department as well as Immigration Department.
Ada yang dilaporkan tak sampai pun 50 orang. Jadi sebab itu kita kata okey, get the detail information berapa orang yang sebenarnya memerlukan dan kita akan hantar. Dalam masa 2-3 hari kita boleh turun semula. So kita nak maklumkan kepada orang kampung, don't have to worry. Jangan risau bahawa kita bersedia untuk membantu mereka. Jadi kalau mereka sekarang ini memikirkan tanggungjawab untuk membersihkan rumah, buat kerja itu dulu. Dokumen ini jangan risau, kita akan hantar dan kita akan berikan khidmat secara percuma.
He said this at a media conference during a working visit at Titi Hayun, where he also visited the areas affected by the mud floods and provided assistance to the residents. The government has decided to maintain its policy of allowing students, regardless of their stream, to apply for Mara Junior Science College, or MRSM. Rural Development Minister Datuk Sri Mazir Khalid said the proposed policy change of limiting the MRSM admission to only national school students was not applicable. Datuk Sri Mazir further explained that the policy of 10% admission of non-Bumiputera students will also remain in line with the Keluarga Malaysia agenda.
Maksudnya, pelajar-pelajar daripada sekolah kebangsaan agama ataupun sekolah menengah agama, SRJKC, Sekolah Rendah Jenis Kebangsaan Cina, Sekolah Rendah Jenis Kebangsaan Tamil juga boleh memohon ataupun mengisi dalam laman web seperti mana yang ada sekarang. Dan untuk proses selanjutnya berkaitan dengan Maktab Rendah Sains Mara ini, kita serahkan pada pengurusan Mara lah untuk buat balik laman web tu. Kerana dia punya tempoh closing date untuk permohonan ini adalah pada November 2021.
He also stated that Mara has put a target of preparing 60% quota for excellent students from B40 families in MRSM. There are 55 MRSM nationwide which can cater to 37,198 students. Coming up, government urged not to forfeit frontline workers' untaken annual leave. Unions of Employees in the Public and Civil Service, or QPACs, has urged the government not to forfeit the annual leave of 180,000 frontline workers who have provided full service during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, this call came as the group are unable to maximize their annual leaves usage due to their commitment to help the country deal with COVID-19 threats, as well as ensuring Malaysia achieves the herd immunity status. QPAC's President Adnan Mad said the leniency included allowing for the annual leave to be accumulated and not expire for the next 5 years. Elaborating, Adnan also proposed that payment be arranged in lieu of the unused annual leave as implemented in our neighbouring country, Singapore. He explained this is needed as a form of appreciation and gratitude for those who have been giving their all to the people.
Petugas kita ini sebenarnya telah berkorban dan sebahagian daripada mereka ini telah pun menjadi frontliner lebih daripada setahun apabila kerajaan mengisytiharkan 18 Mac 2020 PKP kali pertama. Mereka telah tidak pernah bercuti dan mereka hilang rutin kehidupan biasa, mereka hilang rutin kekeluargaan dan segala-galanya ditumpukan untuk memastikan program imunisasi negara ini dapat capai sebagaimana hasrat kerajaan.
Now, more than 98% of workers in the manufacturing industry registered under the Public-Private Partnership COVID-19 Industry Immunization Program, or PCAS, have received at least the first dose of the vaccine shot. The Senior Minister of International Trade and Industry, Datuk Sri Muhammad Azmin Ali, said PCAS had performed very well and helped expedite the vaccination rates for Malaysians. Elaborating further, Datuk Sri Azmin said over 900,000 individuals out of 2.2 million in the manufacturing sector were scheduled to be vaccinated under PCAS. He said the 98% was good enough considering that the remaining individuals have been vaccinated under the COVID-19 immunization program and on a walk-in basis. Datuk Sri Azmin said the ministry aimed to complete the immunization for industrial workers under PCAS by the end of this month and is looking at current numbers, and he was confident it would be achieved. As such, at the recent cabinet meeting, the senior minister said he had asked the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovation and also the Ministry of Health to increase the supply of vaccines for the program, as most of the vaccination centres set up by companies are facing supply shortages. He said speeding up the vaccination process among industrial workers was very important, as the manufacturing sector was the backbone of the country's economic growth. A total of 500,000 employees in the retail and food sector are expected to be vaccinated by the end of the year to enable them to open their businesses and restaurants, including for dine-in. Deputy Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Minister Datuk Rosol Wahid said as of August, more than 48,000 traders and workers have received their vaccine under the Retail Industry Vaccination or RIVAC program nationwide. According to Datuk Rosol, of the total, 23,488 of them had received both doses of the COVID-19 vaccine.
Kita jangka dapat capai kerana sekarang ni saya nampak permohonan untuk nak vaksin terlalu memberasakan kerana untuk memenuhi syarat. Katanya jika mereka tak mendapat vaksin ini, mereka tidak digunakan untuk beroperasi. Itu. Jadi mereka memohon.
Acknowledging that the number of those vaccinated is currently low compared to the set target, he said the ministry is in discussion with large companies having many employees to carry out the RIVAC program at their own premise. For those in the retail sector or with few employees, he said they could contact the ministry for guidelines to speed up the vaccination process for their workers. The development of another 67 telecommunications towers in Kelantan will begin soon. Communications and Multimedia Minister Tan Sri Anwar Musa said this is under Phase 1 of the National Digital Network or Jendela initiative, involving the installation of 408 4G devices, which will benefit over 33,000 premise owners and providing broadband access to rural areas and Orang Asli communities.
Kalau di Kelantan ini masih lagi berada pada tahap kira-kira 24-25 megabyte per second. Matlamat kita bila pelaksanaan program jendela, sekurang-kurangnya speed internet kita mesti mencapai paling kurang pun 35 megabyte per second. Dan nak sampai ke tahap itu, tidak kita perlu menaik tarafkan kemudahan infrastruktur, terutamanya untuk kita memastikan pemasangan fiber optics yang meluas di kawasan yang lazimnya penyedia ataupun servis syarikat lah tidak menarik kerana jumlah penduduk yang sikit ataupun jumlah langganan yang kurang, maka mereka tidak begitu gairah untuk melabur menaikkan taraf infrastruktur oleh servis provider di kawasan itu.
Tan Sri Anwar was speaking after meeting the State Coordinating Committee in Wisma Persekutuan Kota Baru. He also revealed that to date, a total of 24 communication towers were built under Phase 1 of the Jendela initiative, benefiting almost 22,000 users in the state. Now, it looks like the fight for the sole ticket to the 2022 AFC Cup between Kedah Darul Aman KDA FC and Terengganu FC or TFC will stretch a little longer after both teams lost their Super League matches last night. Now, KDA FC, who have a game in hand, lost 2-1 to KL City FC, while TFC went down 1-0 to champions Johor Darul Takzim JDT. At the Kuala Lumpur Football Stadium in Cheras, the City Boys went 1-0 up after just 6 minutes when their Colombian player Romel Morales scored from the penalty spot before former national striker Muhammad Safi Salih doubled their lead in the 26th minute. The Red Eagles, as KDA FC are known, reduced the deficit in the 34th minute courtesy of Ivory Coast player Cheche Kipre's strike but it proved in vain.
But of course, if you ask me, yes, we miss them, but we are, not going to give an excuse the loss because we miss them. Yeah, it's all about teamwork, and it's a team to contribute to that.
I think that is a good achievement. If you don't lose, you can be lucky sometimes, but if you don't lose the whole season at home, means that you played well at home. So the only thing what we need to do is we need to improve our away from home performance.
KDA-FC are now second in the standings with 39 points from 20 matches, while KL City are sixth with 33 points. TFC, meanwhile, failed to capitalise on their home ground advantage, with Australian defender Shane Lowry scoring JDT's winning goal in injury time of the first half at the Sultan Mizan Zainal Abidin Stadium in Kuala Terengganu. JDT head coach Benjamin Mora expressed his happiness because his boys managed to exact revenge on TFC after their defeat in the first round of the league on home ground at Sultan Ibrahim Stadium in April. The TFC were the only team that managed to beat the Southern Tigers throughout the 21 matches.
The thing that we need to do is to win the 3 points home, win and celebrate with 3 points, and I don't know, just do what we know. Train for KL, that is a very strong team with Coach Pai Bojan. We're going to try to win for sure. We're going to try to do our best, and I think everyone is motivated to continue and finishing in a good way.
As things stand after yesterday's matches, TFC are third with 37 points from 21 matches. JDT, who have already wrapped up their 8th straight Super League title, have 54 points, while 4th place Penang have 37 points from 20 matches. And that's it from us. In our top story, price of COVID-19 self-test kits to be further lowered. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Jessica Lee.